So let me make sure that here, talk to me because I want to make sure you're recording.
See if this all worked out well.
Yeah, so we'll talk about this on the podcast, but we had met maybe at one of the other Mom 2.0s.
Yeah, I was trying to think of which one it was or where it was. I'm not
I
sure.
remember.
Like, I can picture the table, but I can't picture the conference.
But you can picture the table.
Yeah.
We were sitting next to each other.
Yep. And were you at Mom 2 in LA?
The one that was like
was?
in Pasadena?
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't think it was there because I feel like it was like before that. Were you at a Blog Her?
I've done Blog Her. I've done Alt Summit.
I did this last Alt Summit, but that was my first one, so it wouldn't have been that. Were you at like wow, I don't know. It could have been a Blog Her or a Mom 2.0, and I just remember sitting at the table with you, and I said to you, what is the most interesting country that you went to? And you said Israel.
Mm-hmm. So I would think that would probably have been Mom 2 Pasadena. Maybe, I'm just trying to think of what I went to.
When was the Mom 2 before that one? Oh, how about Orlando?
Yep, could have been that.
I bet you it was that. I bet you it was Orlando. That would be my guess. By the way, we're going to go to Israel.
Nice.
I'm dying to go. So we're going to go like next year.
So amazing.
And we're going to Portugal this summer.
Such good places.
Okay, good. So here's what we'll do. Let's launch in, and I'll record an intro separately. So all I'm going to say is, and did you pronounce it Tammilee?
Yep.
Tammilee? What do you?
Tammilee's fine.
Tammilee's fine? Okay. So I'm just going to say, Tammilee, welcome to the show, and then we'll just launch in and you can talk about your business and all of that kind of stuff. And the thing that I would want to talk about I'd really want to focus on is that idea of like, can travel bloggers really make a living at this? And is it kind of all about just like getting free stuff, or like, is there a way to really dig in? And also, do you need to be niche, or can you be broader like you are?
Oh, super fun.
Are those all cool? Okay, so those are like what, and then of course, how, travel blogging has evolved and what social networks are most important to you and all of that.
Perfect.
So pretty basic, stuff, but you're the first travel blogger I've talked to, and travel bloggers, I think, kind of fit in this separate category of bloggers. Meaning they're not like craft bloggers, or they have like a whole different way of, I think, thinking about their businesses.
100%.
Okay, cool. All right, so here we go. Ready?
Yep.
So, here we go. Tammilee, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
So we talked about this before we pressed record. We had met previously a couple years ago at a table. We can remember the table, but we're not exactly sure what conference it was.
I think maybe Mom 2, but I've been making the rounds of blog conferences the past couple of years, so there's a lot of options.
There are a lot of, and I have too, but and then we got to reconnect at Mom 2 this year, and I said, hey, will you come on my show? Because I have not interviewed a travel blogger, and I have been dying to.
I'm so excited. It's such a fun industry to be in right now.
Okay, so can you talk about how you got started as a travel blogger, and kind of when you got started, and where your business is today?
Sure. I started blogging in general, 10 plus years ago.
Okay, you're the old school like me. Yep.
Totally old school. Feel like a dinosaur some days, but I'm owning it.
Yep.
I was a corporate risk manager, and 2 days before our wedding, they told me my job was moving out of state.
Okay.
And that I needed to either move or leave my job.
Here, wait. Do you mind if we stop for a sec? Your microphone's sounding weird.
Oh, weird.
So here, talk to me again.
Oh.
Will you?
You ready?
Yeah, that sounds good. What did you just do? Like kind of, I know this sounds weird, but like kind of make out with your mic.
Yeah.
Somebody
make
said
that
that to
happen.
me and I was like, ew, but then it's kind of true.
Not a problem.
Okay, so we'll start that again. So in terms, okay, ready? So can you share about your entrepreneurial journey, how you started as a travel blogger, and where you are today?
Of course. I started as a blogger 10 plus years ago.
Okay.
So, super old school dinosaur
Yep.
some days.
Yep. OG.
But the travel blogging really evolved over time. My blog started as an online journal to really let out the angst and freak out of losing my corporate job and all of a sudden not knowing how to live life without being at a desk for 40 hours a week plus.
Ooh, interesting.
And as I worked through that process of all of a sudden not having a job and learning to cook and be a homemaker and all of these things that were never part of my planned trajectory, the one constant in our life was how much I loved to travel. And so I started sharing really how we were traveling while learning to live on one income and learning what life was like without a big corporate job.
Okay.
And so now today, 10 years later, which I still cannot believe it's been that long, my full-time job is writing the websites, and we're now an LLC, the S Corp, all the fun legal things. And it's really just one of those things I can't honestly still believe is a real life, but love it.
And you do this with your husband?
I do. We have 2 sites. He was writing on mine, and then I kicked him off and had him start his own. So we have 2 different websites that we manage right now.
Okay. And what are they both called? So there's Tammilee Tips.
Yep, that one's mine, which is the old school one.
Okay.
And then his is Park Ranger John, and it's all about national parks from a park ranger perspective.
Great. And now how much of the time are you traveling? And how much of so you're based in Washington State.
Correct.
But then how much of the time are you traveling?
I would say we travel on average 160 plus days a year.
Wow. Okay.
We just built a house, and so we've been in it a year. So we did slow down our travel a little bit just because we needed to get out of boxes finally.
Okay.
And actually put our house together. But we just got back 2 days ago, and we fly back out Monday.
Wow. And you don't have children?
We do not have children. Well, we have 5 cats that are our children, but they handle us being gone a lot easier than real children.
Okay, got it. Okay, now how, as a travel blogger, do you monetize? Are you guys able to live this nomadic life?
Yeah, our life isn't fully nomadic. I mean, I have friends that spend 365 days a year on the road, and they're always, a month in this country, 2 months in this country. I like having a home base, and so we base out of Spokane. Families here, and it's nice to be able to have a change of clothes, not just a suitcase.
Yep.
But we fully monetize. It's my full-time income. I will say I make more money now doing this than I ever did as a corporate executive.
Okay.
We monetize really through a couple of different streams of ad revenue, sponsored posts, sponsored social media, and then growing affiliates. Affiliates isn't something that I really learned early on, and I so wish I would have.
Okay, here, wait. Sorry, Tammilee, this is terrific, but your sound is really going in and out.
It's so weird.
Like right there, that sounded really good, but if I in the last, you were saying such great stuff, so I didn't want to stop you. Here, kind of move around and let me see and keep talking to me.
Okay, does that sound better?
Now move, it sounds a little like staticky. Like I was thinking to myself, oh no, the beginning of this recording, I'm going to have to say this is my guest. And I know that the sound quality isn't so great, but kind of hang with me because, the content's really good. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll stop you and see if we can fix it. So here, keep
Let me see,
talking
I'm
to me.
trying to move around where I know the different routers are and see if that makes a difference.
Okay, so now you sound kind of, so you're home. You're not out, right?
Yeah, I'm home. I'm just trying to figure out where the different new routers are in the house.
It sounds almost like, and you're on an external mic, right?
Mm-hmm. Right up to my face.
I know, you're making out with it. I know. Because it sounds almost like you're speaking into the mic on your phone.
So weird.
Do you know what I mean? It sounds like as if, I'm on a call with you and you're at Target.
It's so random. I'm trying to move around and see if it
Okay, keep
does
talking.
a better job. And look to see. I'm looking in my.
Like that sounds good. What are you doing right now?
I just left one room and walked into another.
Okay, keep talking to me because I feel like that we might have stumbled upon a good solution.
Okay, is this better?
It is. Keep going. Like just, tell me what you liked about Mom 2.0.
Ooh, Mom 2.0 this year, I didn't do much.
I get that. Okay.
I just talked to people and hung out with friends. Didn't go to a single session.
Is that true? I only went to a couple.
Yeah, not a single one.
Okay, now, are you outside?
Nope, but can you hear the lawnmower?
No, I could hear you breathing into the mic. So now I'm going to say don't make out with it.
Yeah, no, the guy next door just started a lawnmower that I can hear in this room, but not the other room.
I don't hear the lawnmower. That sounds better. So I feel like we should just continue because now you were going in and out. And that's why I was like, oh no. Because I loved what you were saying. And of course, now I don't even remember where we left off. Okay, here, I know.
You're talking about monetization.
Let's go back. Sorry, I am so sorry about this.
It's all good.
Do you mind if I ask again?
No, it's all good.
Okay, so here we go. Ready? So how, as a travel blogger, do you guys monetize?
We monetize with a couple of different revenue streams. I always want to make sure that all of my money isn't in one bucket.
Good,
because
smart.
This industry changes so quickly that I don't want to go, oh my God, and have to freak out.
Right.
So we monetize through ad revenue.
Right.
Sponsored posts.
Yep.
Sponsored social media.
Yep.
And then affiliates is growing. I did not learn affiliates 10 years ago when I started, and I really wish I would have.
Got it.
So now I'm digging my way back and relearning that skill.
Got it. Right. Because I saw on your blog that you will have, hey, if you want to travel here, check this out. Like these are my favorite travel spots or travel packages. And I'm assuming those are affiliate deals.
Yeah, they're a combination of affiliate deals and also internal links. I spent a lot of time over the past year also relearning SEO because that wasn't a thing 10 years ago.
Right.
And trying to focus on providing value to readers with internal links and thinking about, okay, if you're reading this or you're looking at this recipe, these additional posts may help you also.
Got it. So you're able to make more money being a travel blogger than you did in your corporate job.
100%, which is so crazy to think about.
Okay. And of those days, like when you're traveling, how much of that time is work time? How much of that time is enjoying this new place you're exploring? Like, how does that break down?
I don't really know what downtime is.
Okay.
So it's really always work. That's one thing that I've learned is that I don't ever shut it off. We were in Hawaii last week on what was supposed to be a quote vacation.
Okay.
And yet I'm still taking pictures of food and signs and details, knowing myself that it's going to become a blog post or it's going to update an old blog post. And that's just how it works.
And do you ever feel burnout because of that?
Oh yeah. Burnout is definitely a thing. I forced myself to spend 8 hours in the lawn chair last week just reading and having to quiet down the thoughts of we could do this and get these photos and go here and go there and just breathe. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions of travel blogging is when you look at Instagram or you look at the blog photos, it looks like most of us are super carefree and we're having just the best time of our lives with no worries and, the wind in our hair. And while we are having an amazing time and hopefully enjoying it, there's also just a ton of work that goes into it because you're always cataloging the minutia that tells the story and not just being able to enjoy the moment.
And also sometimes this is hard to say, but almost fabricating the story.
Definitely the pictures, like it's hard because you want to encourage someone to come to this destination, but at the same point you're like, okay, how do I tell the story within a single shot of a photo?
Right.
And so you are creating that photo, and some of them are spur of the moment. I mean, I've posted pictures that were literally out the side of a car window because I'm like, oh my God, look at this view.
Right.
But there are definitely, quote, staged photos because you want to create that look that someone will enjoy.
Right. Right. Yes. Like I know that especially when my daughter was little and we'd be doing all these food sponsored posts, or food photography, and within the frame, it would be beautiful. And then 2 inches outside of the frame would be the huge mess. And I would say to my daughter, see this? This is like real life. And then I would show her the photo and I go, this is not exactly real life, but it's really pretty.
100%.
So it's kind of like trying to parse that out and understand the difference and recognize, though, that we are running businesses and that is part of the business.
And I think as travel writers, we have to be really careful to not only show the beautiful, but also the reality and to talk openly about that, because the last thing I want to do is send someone to a destination and all they have seen is this just magazine, beautiful, wonderful, amazing photography. And they get there and there's like, what corner is that? Because it doesn't look like this all over the place.
Got it. Can we talk about travel bloggers and how a lot of people decide to be travel bloggers because they want free travel? And I would say that those people, one, I think give the business a bad name. And also that, you can get free travel, but it can be then difficult to actually make a living as a travel blogger, even if you call yourself a travel blogger.
And I think the word free is so hard because it's honestly never free. You may get a hotel comp, you may get a tour comp, but there's always expenses. And your airport parking, drinks at the they all add up. And so a lot of times people are like, well, I just, you live free. And I'm like, my business expenses are over $60,000, $70,000 a year. When you look at the fact that we're carrying $10,000 in camera equipment, all of these different things, and that doesn't even take into the cost of the time.
Okay, so if somebody were to say, I want to be a travel blogger because I want to travel the world for free, what would you say to them? And I want to stay at all these great hotels and stuff and just put it on my Instagram.
I would say, I hope that works for you.
Okay.
Not in a snarky way, but truly, like if that's your dream, that is an option. You can travel to amazing hotels. I mean, I've been on almost every continent as a travel writer, but Antarctica and Australia. And it's totally an option and availability, but you have to understand that there are pros and cons. And just because you see the beautiful and amazing and glorious pictures, take the time to ask somebody who's in the industry longer than 6 months, longer than a year, who's past the honeymoon period, about what life is really like and what the ups and downs are and both sides of it, where there's jet lag and burnout. And I mean, oh my gosh, the number of times we've been sick and different things like that. There's two sides to the story. And while the travel is amazing, you have to be prepared for both sides of it.
I think that's really smart. Now, what about, how does it work? Like, let's say you go, where we want to go? We want to go to Greece. Do you then, how do you figure out who to contact? Like, do you get free hotel rooms? Do you get free packages? Or do you wait and go, we don't know where we're going next, but then somebody reaches out to you from Mexico and says, hey, you want to go to Mexico? How does that work?
I think it depends on where you're at in your cycle of being a travel writer. I could definitely reach out and pitch a hotel and say, I would like to come and write about your hotel and experience it. This is what it looks like. Honestly, right now, we do a lot on our own because I want to be able to tell a clear story and create my own itinerary.
Okay.
And we're very focused on building my husband's site. And so we've been doing a lot of park stuff on our own.
Okay.
A lot of times I do get emails offering a hotel or a tour or different things. And it depends on what the offer looks like, whether or not it's a story I want to tell, what my calendar looks like, and whether or not it fits something that's worth the cost of leaving the house and what the ask is. Because the one thing that's not talked about a lot is you may get that $150 hotel night, but then you get this 12 emails of all the asks.
Yes. Yes.
And all of but I want your photos. I need you to do this. You need, the 5-hour tour of every room you're not staying in while you're in a room that looks over a dumpster.
Yes. In fact, I would argue that brands have become more demanding.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, it was kind of like they were so happy if you just took some photos and put them up on your blog. And today, the asks are much more onerous.
And I get the brands asking because they're getting pitched. Oh my gosh. I mean, I have friends that represent brands, and the emails that they get are so painful. And the asks, I mean, it's hard. I know it's hard to hear, but if you have 100 Instagram followers, you are probably not going to get a $5,000 a night hotel room.
Right.
The ROI isn't there for the brand.
Right.
But they're getting asked that every day they're literally getting emails of people with 100, 200 combined followers across all channels saying that they are, quote, an influencer and they can get people to buy a $5,000 hotel room.
Right.
It's just not, the ROI isn't there for a brand. And if someone's thinking about starting into this industry, they really have to be honest with themselves about what are you bringing to the brand, not just what you are getting,
right.
Not just this dream vacation, this dream hotel, whatever that may be, but what are you truly getting to the brand? Because they have to have an ROI or this industry is going to fall apart.
Now, in terms of social media, I'm assuming that Instagram is the platform that all of your sponsors want you to be on promoting their products. Is that true? Like, what does the social media landscape look like from where you're sitting?
I mean, Instagram is definitely the player right now. I don't know that that's always the best decision, but it's definitely the poster child of social media right now.
Right.
I think that at some point the bubble's going to burst and something else will take its place. But for now, it's definitely Instagram. There are sponsors that understand that someone coming in with multifaceted social can reach different audiences versus someone who's only an Instagram player.
Got it.
And so that part's nice because I think that every social channel has a different type of audience and you can cultivate stories differently to them.
And are you also active on YouTube?
Active-ish.
Okay. I like that.
I have it.
Okay.
I won't say I like it.
Okay.
But we do it. My brain doesn't work video. I'm much more creative in photography and travel photography than I am in travel video. That's a whole different skill set that I have not taken a ton of time for.
Okay.
But we have it.
But that's nice though, because what it says is you can be successful and not be doing a lot of video.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so because, ugh.
Now, are you doing then a lot of Instagram stories or Facebook stories or anything like that?
Yeah, we do Instagram stories. I also do a lot of Facebook lives
Ooh,
where I can show people in the moment, as long as some places have really bad Wi-Fi, so that doesn't happen. But I love the power of a Facebook live and being able to say, look, this is where I'm at. You can see a full 360. You know, I'm not hiding anything through edits.
interesting. Okay. And will you announce I'm going to be live or do you just pop in and you're live?
I just pop in. I get a little scared announcing because sometimes you walk 5 feet and you think you're going to have Wi-Fi and then it's gone for the rest of the day.
Right?
So I just prefer popping in and being like, surprise, here I am. Let's
Right.
chat.
Now, are you finding that brands do want you to be doing blog posts or don't even care now about blog posts and only care about social media?
Both. It really depends on the brand and also how long the person has been in their position.
Okay.
So I find newer PR, this is going to sound bad and it's not meant to, but maybe younger PR who are just getting started, social or die.
Right.
But people who have been in the industry and who know the roller coaster of the industry and the continual changes want a little bit of everything because you never know what's going to peak or what's going to die.
Got it. That's interesting. Now, this is my next question, which is we are continually taught to niche down. You're a travel blogger, you're a craft blogger or DIY, whatever. But going to your site, you really are a lifestyle blogger. You're not just travel. And what
Yeah,
is your thought about that?
I have the benefit of 10 years
Okay.
plus
Okay.
and of making all the mistakes, building an audience. They've seen me screw up. They've seen me have good days, bad days, horrible Pinterest fails, all the things. So I feel like a lifestyle site works well for me because my audience has grown with me over 10 years. If
Mm,
someone's starting today, like my husband's site we started 2 years ago, his is fairly niche. It's coming from a park ranger background, national parks, camping recipes, those type of things. His, I'm not going to broaden out too far because I think it needs to be niche.
mm, got it.
Today, I think if you're starting, a niche is the way to go, and then years down the road, expand.
Got it. Well, you are one of the like old school bloggers like us all, where we were just, a lot of times we fell into our businesses as bloggers. So
Yeah.
we were more broad because it wasn't about being so strategic and figuring out what your lane is and sticking in your lane and making sure that everything made sense and, was so narrow. So that's interesting that you're seeing it from both sides. Now, are you still, because you have a bunch of recipes, would you say that you are a travel slash food blogger?
It depends on the day what I am. Honestly, it also depends on the audience that I'm talking to. If I'm talking travel, then I'm primarily travel. If I'm talking food, I'm primarily food. And we really interweave between all the different channels. I mean, there's tech stuff on there, our cats show up. It really depends on the day and my mood, what I call myself.
Interesting. So, do you think about it that way? For example, you're doing a recipe. Do you think, oh, I'm going to really focus on the people who come to me for food? Like, do you have different lists for email? The people who love your food, the people who love your travel? Or is it that people just kind of love you and therefore, whatever you're serving up that day, they're going to want to consume it?
I would love to say it's because people love me that I have integrated lists, but I honestly don't have separate lists because I've just been lazy and haven't done it.
Okay. Got it.
And it's just honestly easier after 10 years to have one list and send it on out there to the world, and people can decide which links they click on.
Interesting. Okay. That's really interesting. It is interesting to hear your perspective again, having been in the trenches for 10 years. and how
10.
it's evolved more organically, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, over the past 10 years, like when we started, there was no masterminds. There was no like learn to blog classes. There was none of that. It was the Wild West of, oh, oops, that really did not work. And oh, maybe this is going to work. Nope, nope. And you
Right,
just created it. There was no, I mean, I don't even think there was conferences really my first few years.
right.
It was just hoping you met somebody on Facebook and they would share a secret and you shared a secret in Facebook groups and tried to lift each other up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what tool would you say that you use in your business that you could not live without?
Oh goodness. Outside of my phone, which is my lifeline to the world, I love Tailwind
Ooh,
because then
yes.
I know that when I'm jet lagged or I don't know what day it is, there's still content being shared out.
Okay.
Co-schedule, similar, where I can automatically, depending on the sponsor and depending on the type of content, I have co-schedule set out where you can designate like a plan or a roadmap. I have them set out for a year in advance of social shares.
Wow.
So that's a super lifeline that I can publish a post and know that for the next year, it's going to have almost like a drip campaign of social
Yep.
spread out.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know what life would be like without that. I hope to not
Okay.
know.
Okay. And I would say this now on the flip side, what is the one travel tool you use that you can't live without? It doesn't have to be like an app or anything. Like it could be, I love this suitcase or I love, like given that you know this world so well, what would you say, gosh, people should invest in X?
If somebody's going into it, they need to invest in a really good phone with a killer camera.
Okay, what kind of phone do you have?
I use the new Samsung, I think it's the S10 Plus, whatever the newest one came out the past
Okay.
couple months.
Okay.
Because I mean, we carry Canon 5D4s, all the super high-end lenses,
Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay.
but I still take pictures on my phone because there are moments in travel and really moments in life that you don't have time to pull that bulky DSLR out and get it set up and set the settings because the moment happened. It's gone, it moved on. So having a phone that's instantly in your hand that you can grab that shot can make all the difference in telling the story of that moment.
Now, here's a question. Do you find that you're using your DSLR less because
It depends on where.
phone cameras have gotten so good?
Yeah, and it also depends on where we're traveling. If my husband's with me, he was in law enforcement for 20 years, so I feel safe pulling $7,000 worth of camera gear out because I know he's always watching. If I'm someplace by myself, I'm incredibly careful about pulling the camera out of the bag because I know the moment it's seen, I'm a target.
Right.
So it really depends on where we're at. And I mean, if we're shooting bears in Alaska, the camera's out with the lens, all the things. If I'm shooting a farmer's market, I'm using my phone.
Got it. Interesting. Because I just did my last sponsored post with just I didn't want to tell the brand, but with just my phone,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, these photos on my phone are so much better than my DSLR photos from 4 years ago.
It's amazing. I mean, the phone cameras and the editing apps for your phone,
Yes.
what you can do sitting in a car in a parking lot somewhere, that would
Yes.
take me so much time to get home, get on my computer,
Open your
process, download
Photoshop.
all the things. Yes.
I totally agree. Okay. I have to ask this. Your three favorite places you have visited that you think people should see before they die?
Oh, goodness me. Um, I think people should, I'm going to do two different ways.
Go.
One, I think people should travel someplace that makes them nervous or that
Ooh.
they have preconceived notions about
Okay.
and allow themselves to be surprised.
Okay. Interesting.
I went to both Israel and Uganda in the past couple years, and both places I went in with pretty serious preconceived notions from things I'd seen on the news and movies and all the things. And I came out with such a different perspective of both places
I like that.
and loving them.
Okay.
I also think people should go to that bucket list destination, that place that's been on their vision board, or that every time they see a picture of it, they're like, I have to do it. Make it happen.
Okay.
Make
I
it
like
happen.
that. I like that.
And then I think you should go someplace that has memories, a place you went as a kid or a place that your family has talked about so that you have that connection to it.
Oh, I like that. I really like that. That's terrific. Okay, if I'm a travel blogger or I want to be a travel blogger, I'm just starting out, what piece of advice would you give me?
My biggest piece of advice would be to find your tribe of people who will help you push through the hard days.
And what does that mean? What does it look like? What does your tribe look like?
My tribe is, oh my gosh, unbelievable. And it consists of everything from my husband, who's helped me through the worst food poisoning of my life, to
What country? What country were you in?
oh my gosh, which ones have Mexico, Europe? There's been a few. There's been a few ugly cases.
Okay.
Even both of us had food poisoning together in Saguaro National Park, and a park based on cactuses is not the place to have food poisoning.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, so
And then the rest of my tribe is a lot of women who are doing similar, building their businesses and really trying to live their best life, and who are willing to share the good, bad, and the ugly, and who are investing in their future and willing to invest in your future.
Oh, nice. 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 So it's like all, what is it? All rising tides lifts all boats.
Yeah, I think sometimes, especially in this industry, there's this weird undercurrent of competition and this undercurrent of like, you can't have it, I want it. But I truly feel like when we're all working together and we're strengthening the community and we're strengthening the industry, that we're all helping each other.
I like that.
And hopefully that's the way it continues. It's been a little funky, I guess, in the past couple of years as the industry shifts, and the old dinosaurs that knew what it was and what we put into it are now seeing new come in, which is amazing. And there always needs to be that evolution, but we're also still trying to kind of help fit that morals and standards and the why we put the blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Yes. And what would you say your why is?
My why, my hope is to inspire people to live their best life, whether that's making an unbelievable meal for their family, going on a trip that just changes their perspective of the world, or gives them a little break from the craziness of high-end stress jobs.
I like that. Now, what about your business are you most excited?
Right now, it's twofold. I'm most excited to build my husband's site because I love that he has the opportunity to give 20 years of park ranger experience a voice and help people really maximize their time in the parks.
Okay.
For my site, I'm really excited to go back through 10 years of content and not only produce new, but find those pieces of content that maybe didn't get shared the way they should or didn't get written clearly or fully, and really vet those out and bring new eyes to them.
Oh, I like that. Okay, Tammilee, if people want to reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you on social media, how can they do that?
I am all over the social media under Tammilee Tips. Everything.
Oh, it's spelled Tammilee.
Tammilee, and then Tips is TIPS.
Great.
And that is every social handle. And then we have a second one on Instagram that's Tammilee Tips Life, which is more of the lifestyle, just really day-to-day perspective of living this life versus the Tammilee Tips Instagram is much more the travel, beautiful photography.
Wonderful. Well, I have to say, thank you so much for being on the show. And we will definitely be hooking up again at Mom 2.0 next year. And maybe we'll offline, we'll compare what other conferences we're going to, because maybe we'll see each other again sooner.
I love that idea. I have my ticket for Mom 2 already
Me
next year.
too. Me too. All right. Well, Tammilee, thank you.
You are so welcome. I hope it helps people really decide what they want to do in this industry.
I love it. Okay. So